In this video, I'd like to share a few chords in the key of A major that we can use within the song Gratitude by Brandon Lake. Now, these chords will be slightly different than the original, so let's get familiar with the original progression of the song. And we'll be focusing only on the chorus of the song, right? Which starts on the 1, which is A major. And I'll hum the song while I play the chords. So we start on the 1. Da, 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 da. Then the 5. 4, 6, and then the 5, and then it repeats. So it's a very simple progression, only has like 4 different chords for this chorus. But one exercise I decided to do with the song was try to change the chord for every single beat. And some of the rules that I decided to keep was try to maintain as best as possible the melody of the song as my last note of the chord. And this helps because we can create voicings that match the original melody of the song, and it leads us to learn these different voicings that maybe we would have not discovered on our own. Okay, so we start off on the 1, right? Let's make that a major 7 chord. So I throw up my hands. Like I said, we're switching chords every beat. So we go from the 1, praise you, right? What am I doing here? I'm going from the 1, I'm maintaining that C sharp. Then I think what is another chord that matches with the 1 without changing too much of the notes, right? If we think of the 1 and the 6, it has 2 notes in common. So the 6 is another substitution that we could use for the 1 without changing too much the sound of the chord. But since we want to get to the 6, let's use a passing chord on the secondary dominant of that 6. All that means is that we're going to the 5, the 5th of that 6. So the 5 of F sharp, C sharp, and we form a dominant chord. In this case, maintaining the melody, and what I came up with, something like this. It's a C sharp 7, flat 9. It's a different alteration to a simple C sharp 7 chord, right? All I'm doing is taking this 1 and bringing it up a half step. You can think about it as taking the 9 and flatting it, okay? So that's that passing chord. That leads us to the 6, which is F sharp minor 9. So far we have praise you again and again. Next chord would be a 5, right? But in order to get to that 5, let's do a passing chord as well. So praise you again and again. Now, what is this passing chord that I'm playing here? Right? It says it's an A 6 9 sharp 11, but in reality, this is a 2 chord played as a major. Right? Instead of a minor, which would be the diatonic for A major, we're playing a major B, and we're also making it dominant with the A. But instead of playing it in this voicing, right, we're trying to maintain the melody, so we have to include the 9th up here. So we have this, and in my bass, or the root note that I use in my left hand, I want to maintain the dominant or the 7th as my lowest note. It gives it a different type of sound that you hear a lot in gospel music, which is something like, right, going from the 1 to the 2 to the 5/7. But in this case, we're playing it like this, and then we just go to the 5. So far we have now from here, what I'm gonna play, I'll first demonstrate it and then explain the thought process behind it. So what did I do there? Right, we landed on the 5, and we have to get to the 4, but by adding a bunch of chords in between the 5 and the 4, right? We're not just gonna stay on the 5. So what I decided here was to play a 7/3, which you would think goes to the 6, right? That's what that progression generally plays, right? We goes 7, 3 to the 6, but instead of playing the 6, I go to the 1. But let's backtrack a little bit and explain the chord. So we were on the 5. This chord right here is the 7, but we're not playing it as a half diminished chord, which is the diatonic version of this chord, right? If we're in the A major scale, you would think this is a G sharp minor 7 flat 5, but instead we're converting it into a dominant chord, and we're altering the notes within that chord. So playing a G sharp 7, sharp 5, and sharp 9 up here. And again, this sharp 9 happens to be the melody of the song in that section. So we go from this dominant chord, which is sort of serving or functioning as a secondary dominant, to land us on the 3. Right, so we had 5, 7, 3. Right, we can voice this as a C sharp minor 9 or just a C sharp minor 7. If we want to stray away from the melody, we can do something like this, a C sharp minor 11. Or we can even voice it like this while maintaining the melody, okay? So different options that we have. So we did 5, 7, 3, and then this implies that we're going to the 6 to lead us to the 4, right? But instead of playing the 6, since we know we're going to the 4, let's play the 1, which happens to function as a secondary dominant, or the dominant for the 4 chord, right? Hopefully you're following me here. We're going from the 5 to the 7 to the 3 to the 1, which we're voicing as an A 13 flat 9, simply an F sharp over an A and the minor 7th. We're on the 4, and from here the melody goes hallelujah. So the chords I decided for this section were 4, 5, 6, 2. Right? These are all chords within the A major scale. So 4, 5, 6, 2. Then we can go back to the 6 for that same melody. And this is where it changes a bit, right? We play a B9, a rootless B9, which happens to be a D sharp half diminished, right? There's different ways of thinking of these voicings. And from here, let's keep it simple. We'll just play a D minor 6. So from this chord to this chord. So a 2 to a minor 4. Major 2 to a minor 4. And in context, that sounds like this. Right, I'm experimenting a little bit with the voicings, but and then we're back to the beginning. By the way, I have a course available where you can learn different progressions just like the one we learned in this video. It'll be in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to keep receiving these same type of videos.